You know, I just did 2 stories on this the other day. I did a story about a cop and a teacher arrested and on trial for extremely heinous crimes and disturbing shit like that. Well, here we go again. We got an ex-cop arrested for extremely heinous crime. Ex-deputy sheriff charged for heinous crimes. Here we go.
There's a sheriff deputy, that's him. He has been arrested because of extreme heinous crimes
right there
against children.
Wow, here's another one.
This is in DeKalb County, Georgia. Now, this story is going to highlight the insanity and evil that can be associated with the profession of policing, but it also highlights leadership at the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office. Let me bring your attention to the deputy who was behind bars. Let's put up his picture. His name is Derek Gardner.
Derek Gardner.
Derek Gardner is a deputy sheriff for the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, who has now been recently fired. He has been charged with rape, child molestation, and more.
Wow.
Officials say that this 34-year-old Derek Gardner of Stone Mountain, Georgia, was arrested by DeKalb County Police on Sunday. At that time, Gardner was employed with the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office. So let me make a distinction here. He works for the Sheriff's Office, but the county also has a police department. They have 2 different departments. Constitutionally, the Sheriff's Office outranks the police department. They are not the same agency. They do not have what's called a consolidated government or police protocol.
Well,
so these are 2 different agencies that operate
like Seattle and
in the same jurisdiction.
They outrank the
Still,
Tacoma,
he's a cop.
And like
this cop was arrested by cops that know him. Officers charged Gardner with trafficking of persons for sexual servitude,
raise yourself,
rape, child molestation, first-degree cruelty to children, enticing a child for indecent purposes, and aggravated sexual battery.
Wow.
After his arrest, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office immediately terminated his employment. Now, let me put up a picture of the sheriff. Her name is Melody Maddox. Sheriff Maddox is the first woman to ever be elected sheriff in that county, and she is one of the very few sheriffs to be elected as a woman in the state of Georgia, period. She happens to be African American, and she wasted no time. Now, come back to me for a minute, because I need you to understand this. She could have waited for the results of the investigation. She could have did the innocent until proven guilty. She could have did the he's on administrative leave. She did none of that.
She went for the gun, fired him on the blow up.
Utilized her executive authority against any pro-police advocacy and fired him immediately, and has him booked inside of her jail, even though she had the option to ship him to another jail because he, in fact, is a sheriff or was a sheriff's deputy under her jurisdiction. She said, not only are we going to terminate him, we are going to house him right here. And then what did this sheriff do? Immediately released all of the information on her social media pages to the media. She wasted no time. Let me read to you some of it in just a moment. The press release that came from this sheriff came out literally minutes after the arrest. Talk about transparency. Firing immediate. Press release immediate. It says a 34-year-old deputy employed with the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office was arrested in DeKalb County by the DeKalb County Police Department. Stone Mountain resident Derek Gardner, this is the press release. Derek Gardner was charged with trafficking of persons for sexual servitude, rape, child molestation, cruelty to children in the first degree, enticing a child for indecent purposes, and aggravated sexual battery. Gardner's employment has been terminated. Gardner was taken into custody on the 6th and booked into the DeKalb County Jail, where he is being held without bond.
Good.
Now, obviously, this individual, these accusations, if true, he is a monster. He's a monster who never deserved a badge in the first place. For him, that police...
And this is the shit I'm calling out, ladies and gentlemen. These monsters that are above the law with their badge and gun, they should never be hired. These disgusting, creepy, sicko monsters that are preying on vulnerable children. That's right, vulnerable children.
Uniform is a costume because he makes a joke out of it. Okay? Now, the sheriff responded the right way. This is a woman in a male-dominated industry doing what other sheriffs and chiefs tell us. Oh, we just can't do that. We have to wait till the outcome of the investigation. We're going to suspend until this is resolved. She did none of that. She said, oh, he's fired today.
She's fired. She said he's fired right now.
That some of the other
and he's going to go to jail.
Are taking notes.
No bond.
Because this is how you handle it. Because this cop has eroded the public trust under her leadership. She ran as a reformist. She said she would have the most transparent sheriff's office in the history of that county. And this is a campaign promise kept.
She did that.
My dear sister, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's wonderful to see such decisive and swift action coming out of, the sheriff's department in this case, because so often we don't see it. And stories like this make you wonder how many times are things like this swept under the rug? How many cops are doing the exact same heinous crimes as this deputy sheriff was, but their department protects them? They don't fire them, they don't disavow them, they aren't transparent, they sweep it under the rug, they protect them, and the people who are being victimized find no justice because, there's this culture, this white supremacist culture within police departments where they protect one another. But it is good to see that break in this instance, and I hope that the victims of his horrific, disgusting crimes do find justice, and that if that a jury does find him guilty of these just atrocious things.
Yeah, we're going to follow this story from top to bottom. But I'm glad to see leadership stepping up. My thoughts and prayers are with the victims of this particular monster. But we are going to follow.
And I'm glad that woman ran the sheriff's department and said, no, he's fired right now. And he's going to go to jail and he's going to get no bond. I think to the victims, that's going to give them some peace of mind and knowing that they're going to get justice for this individual. That was a sheriff creeping and preying on vulnerable and children and trying to groom them for sexual gratification and profit. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing stories about this for time in and time out, month after month. But the two law firms, they're not going to listen to it. They're just going to, oh, well, it is what it is. Oh, it's probably fake news. No, this is real news, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, I'm out of here. My job. Peace out. Much love and respect.